Let me ask you something. Have you ever done everything right and still felt terrible by noon? You woke up, you had breakfast, maybe oatmeal, maybe juice, maybe some whole grain toast with a little honey, things that are supposed to be healthy, and yet, by 10 a.m., you're already tired. By 11, you're craving something sweet. By lunchtime, your energy is just gone. And your blood sugar numbers? They're telling a story you don't like. Here's what I want you to understand today. That crash, that fatigue, that craving, that frustrating roller coaster, it doesn't start at lunch, it doesn't start at dinner, it starts at breakfast. More specifically, it starts with what most of us have been told is a good breakfast. Today, I'm going to show you exactly which foods are quietly spiking your blood sugar every single morning and what to eat instead. No extreme diet, no starving yourself, just small practical swaps that your body will thank you for. And the best part? You can start tomorrow morning. All right, let's talk about what's really happening inside your body. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine your body is a house, and glucose, that's just a fancy word for the sugar your body uses as fuel. Glucose is the electricity powering that house. Now, to get electricity into the house, you need to unlock the door. That key? It's called insulin. Insulin is a hormone your pancreas makes. Every time sugar enters your bloodstream, your pancreas says, okay, let's send some insulin to open the doors and let this sugar in. Normal situation, you eat a little sugar, a little insulin comes out, the door opens, sugar goes in, everything's fine. But here's where it gets complicated. When you eat a breakfast that's loaded with fast sugar, and I'll show you which foods do this in just a moment, your blood sugar shoots up very quickly, like a power surge. Your pancreas panics, it floods your system with a huge amount of insulin, way more than needed. The doors don't just open, they fly off the hinges. All that sugar gets pushed into your cells very fast, and now your blood sugar drops sharply, too sharply. This is what we call the post-meal crash. Technically, it's a reactive hypoglycemia episode, but all you feel is tired, foggy, irritable, and craving sugar again within the hour. And here's the cruel part. Because your blood sugar is now low, your body sends you hunger signals. It says, feed me now. And most people reach for something sweet or starchy, which starts the whole cycle all over again. This happens before 9 a.m. and it sets the tone for your entire day. Now, which breakfast foods are causing this? That's where most people are genuinely shocked. I want you to think about 3 breakfast foods that millions of people eat every single day, believing they're making a healthy choice. Number 1, orange juice. Now, I know orange juice feels wholesome. It's been marketed as a morning staple for decades. It's got vitamin C, it's natural. And yes, an actual orange has some vitamin C. But here's the problem. When you squeeze an orange into juice, you remove the fiber. And fiber is what slows down how fast sugar enters your bloodstream. Without it, orange juice is essentially liquid sugar. A small glass, just 8 ounces, contains roughly 22 grams of sugar, and it hits your bloodstream almost as fast as soda. Your pancreas does not know the difference between orange juice and a candy bar when it comes to speed. Number 2, breakfast cereals. And I'm including the ones that sound healthy. Granola, multigrain flakes, corn flakes, even bran cereals. Look at the nutrition label on almost any cereal box. What's in position 2 or 3 on the ingredient list? Sugar, or corn syrup, or maltodextrin, which is just another word for something that behaves like sugar in your body. The box says heart healthy. The biology says something different. These cereals are processed to be light, crunchy, and quick digesting. That means they break down almost instantly in your gut. Instant breakdown equals instant blood sugar spike. Number 3, classic instant oatmeal. Now this one surprises people the most, because oats are whole grains, right? Oats are supposed to be good for you. Here's the distinction that matters. Whole rolled oats, the kind you cook for 20 minutes, have a lot of fiber and digest slowly. That's genuinely good for blood sugar. But instant oatmeal, the kind in the packet that you make in 90 seconds, that oat has been processed, pre-cooked, and broken down. All that processing has already done the work your gut would normally do. So when you eat it, there's almost nothing left for your body to break down slowly. Add the flavored versions, maple and brown sugar, apple cinnamon, and you're looking at 12 to 20 grams of added sugar in a single packet. On top of already fast digesting oats, marketing says healthy, biology says sugar spike. I want to be very clear here. I'm not demonizing these foods. They're not poison, but for someone who is managing blood sugar, whether you have type 2 diabetes, pre-diabetes, or you're just noticing your energy levels are unreliable, these are the foods doing the most damage first thing in the morning. And the good news is, swapping them is genuinely not hard. But first, let me tell you about Robert. Robert was 68 years old when he first came to see me. He was a retired school principal, thoughtful man, methodical, the kind of person who reads labels and tries to do things right. He had been managing type 2 diabetes for about 6 years. And he was frustrated, not because he wasn't trying, he was. He'd cut out most desserts, he walked 30 minutes every day, he took his medication as prescribed, but his morning blood sugar numbers, his fasting glucose, were consistently high. His doctor had talked about adjusting his medication, and Robert really didn't want to go down that road if he didn't have to. When I sat with him and asked him to walk me through a typical morning, here's what he described. He woke up, had a glass of orange juice because it's vitamins, then a bowl of instant oatmeal with the little flavor packet, sometimes a piece of toast with jam on the side, and a coffee with 2 teaspoons of sugar. He was genuinely proud of this breakfast. Compared to what he used to eat, eggs and bacon every morning, this felt like progress, and in some ways it was. But his blood sugar was paying a steep price. I didn't put Robert on a complicated plan. I didn't give him a list of superfoods he'd never heard of. I made 3 simple changes to his breakfast. We swapped the orange juice for a small glass of water with a few slices of actual orange on the side. We replaced the instant oatmeal with 2 eggs, scrambled, with some spinach and a little olive oil. And we replaced the sugary coffee with plain coffee. And if he wanted sweetness, a tiny bit of cinnamon stirred in. That's it, 3 swaps, same effort, same time in the morning. 8 weeks later, Robert came back in. His morning glucose readings had dropped by an average of 22 points. His energy in the mornings was noticeably more stable. He told me he stopped having that 10 o'clock wall where he used to need a snack just to function. And perhaps most importantly, he felt in control again. Now I want to be careful here. Robert's results are his own. Everyone's body is different, and managing diabetes always involves working closely with your doctor. I'll come back to that point at the end. But Robert's story illustrates something powerful. The problem wasn't his lunch, it wasn't his dinner, it was how the morning started. Fix the morning and the whole day changes. So what should you actually eat? Let's go through 5 breakfast substitutes that are genuinely good for blood sugar. I'll explain why each one works, how to use it, and one little scientific insight for each one that most people have never heard. The first one is eggs. Eggs are mostly protein and fat. They contain almost 0 carbohydrates. And here's what that means for blood sugar. Almost no glucose enters your bloodstream from an egg. Your pancreas barely has to respond, but it goes deeper than that. Studies have shown that eating protein and fat in the morning actually slows down how fast you absorb carbohydrates later in the day. So even if you eat something starchy at lunch, it hits you less hard because of what you had for breakfast. How to use them: scrambled, poached, hard-boiled, as an omelet. Eggs are flexible. Add vegetables if you like, spinach, peppers, tomatoes. Add a little cheese. Make it enjoyable. And here's the insight most people don't know. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that people who ate eggs for breakfast reported feeling fuller for longer and consumed fewer calories throughout the rest of the day compared to those who ate a carbohydrate-based breakfast. That's the satiety effect. Fewer hunger signals, fewer temptations. The second substitute is full-fat Greek yogurt, plain and unsweetened. Greek yogurt, the plain kind, not the flavored ones, is high in protein, contains some healthy fat, and has live cultures. Those live cultures are probiotics, and they support something called gut health. A healthy gut actually improves how your body handles glucose over time. How to use it? Eat it plain with a small handful of berries on top. Strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, these are low in sugar and high in fiber, or add a teaspoon of ground flaxseed. That adds fiber, which slows digestion even more. Here's the key word to remember: plain. Flavored Greek yogurts, strawberry, peach, honey, often contain 15 to 25 grams of added sugar. That completely cancels out the benefit. Always look for 0G added sugars on the label. The tartness of plain yogurt is actually a sign that you're getting the real thing. The third substitute is a handful of mixed nuts. Nuts are a combination of protein, healthy fats, and fiber. That combination is almost the perfect blood sugar stabilizer. No rapid digestion, no glucose surge, and they're quick. No cooking required. About a small handful, roughly 1 ounce, which is around 23 almonds or 14 walnut halves. You can eat them alone or pair them with your Greek yogurt or with a piece of low-sugar fruit like an apple or pear. One study found that eating almonds with a high carbohydrate meal reduced the post-meal blood sugar spike significantly. The fat and fiber in the almonds effectively acted as a buffer. So even if you're having something carb-heavy, adding nuts to the meal can soften the impact. The fourth substitute is avocado on whole grain toast. Now, toast can be tricky, But whole grain bread, not just bread that looks brown, but actual whole grain with seeds and fiber visible, digests slower than white bread or even regular whole wheat. Avocado adds healthy monounsaturated fat and fiber. Together, they slow the absorption of whatever carbohydrate is in the bread. One slice of whole grain toast topped with half an avocado, a pinch of salt, a squeeze of lemon, maybe some red pepper flakes. Add an egg on top if you want more protein. Here's what to look for on the bread label. The glycemic index, the GI, measures how fast a food raises blood sugar on a scale of 0 to 100. White bread scores around 75. Most whole grain breads with intact seeds score between 40 and 55. That difference is significant. Lower GI means a slower, gentler rise. Also, eating fat before or with a carbohydrate slows how fast the carbohydrate enters your bloodstream. The avocado is doing active work here, not just adding flavor. The fifth substitute is chia seed pudding. Chia seeds might be the most underrated blood sugar food that exists. When you mix chia seeds with liquid, they absorb it and form a gel. That gel is soluble fiber, and soluble fiber is almost magical when it comes to blood sugar. It forms a kind of physical barrier in your gut that slows the absorption of glucose. The night before, mix 3 tablespoons of chia seeds with 1 cup of unsweetened almond milk or regular milk. Add a small amount of vanilla extract. Put it in the refrigerator overnight. In the morning, it will have turned into a thick pudding. Add some berries or a sprinkle of cinnamon on top. Takes about 2 minutes to prepare the night before. 0 effort in the morning. And that cinnamon deserves its own mention. Multiple studies have looked at cinnamon's effect on blood sugar, and several found that regular consumption can improve insulin sensitivity, meaning your cells become better at responding to insulin, so your pancreas doesn't have to work as hard. Now, cinnamon is not medication. It doesn't replace medication. But as a morning addition, stirred into yogurt, sprinkled on chia pudding, added to coffee, it's a simple and evidence-informed habit worth building. Let me summarize those 5 quickly. 1 eggs, 2 plain Greek yogurt with berries, 3 nuts, 4 avocado on whole grain toast, 5 chia seed pudding. None of these require a special store. None require hours of preparation. None require you to eat things you hate. They just require a small shift in what you reach for first thing in the morning. Before I wrap up, I want to say something important, and I want you to really hear this. If you are currently on medication for diabetes or blood pressure, please do not make dramatic changes to your diet without talking to your doctor first. Here's why this matters. When you start eating better, when your blood sugar naturally starts to stabilize, your medication may become too strong because the medication was calibrated for your old diet. If your blood sugar drops too far because of the combination of better eating and medication, that can cause problems. This is actually a good problem to have. It means your lifestyle is working, but it needs to be managed carefully with your physician. So please use this information as a conversation starter with your doctor, not as a replacement for their guidance. You might say, I'm thinking about making some changes to my breakfast. Can we monitor my levels over the next few weeks and see if any medication adjustments are needed? That's a great conversation to have. Your doctor will likely be supportive, because the goal for all of us is for you to thrive. Now, let me leave you with this thought. The morning is not just the first meal of the day. For your blood sugar, the morning is the foundation the entire day is built on. If that foundation is unstable, if you spike and crash before 9 a.m., you're fighting your own biology for the next 12 hours. But if you get the morning right, your energy holds steady, your cravings are quieter, your focus is clearer, and your numbers over time start to tell a different story. Robert understood this and it changed his life. It can change yours too. One small favor before you go. If you have a friend, a spouse, a sibling, a neighbor, someone you care about who is struggling with blood sugar, with energy, with that constant afternoon crash, would you share this video with them? You don't have to explain it, just send it. Say, I think you might find this helpful. That small gesture might genuinely make a difference in someone's health. And that matters more than I can say. Now, breakfast is only part of the picture. Because what you eat at dinner is actually doing something to your blood sugar overnight while you sleep. And most people have no idea this is happening. Next week, I'm going to walk you through the metabolic dinner, what to eat in the evening to wake up with better numbers, what to avoid, and why the timing of your last meal matters more than most doctors discuss. If you don't want to miss that, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified when it goes up. I'm Dr. Sterling. Take care of yourself. You deserve to feel well. I'll see you next week.